on here really quick so I can share with you what I'm doing today. Um, and then also, I just wanted to give the front porch some attention. I have neglected it. I'll be honest, but everything is growing really good. We lost a couple of plants, um, maybe a little bit from my neglect, and maybe they didn't want to be here. But I wanted to show you some clearance plants that I also got and how I am going to utilize them into making more plants. I think last year I did a full video on how I take some plants and multiply it, but these plants, I could not beat the price, and I am just separating them out and where potting them where some of the plants didn't make it at. But I'll eventually do a full front porch tour. We added some new plants, new containers. I'll take you over there in a minute. I don't want it to get too crowded on the porch, but I also still am going to eventually put a bench right here. So first, let me just tell you what I am doing right now. So these plants, and I've already done one, these are begonias, and they're like, one was like angel face or, yeah, looking glass, angel wing begonia, but a lot of these are grown for their leaves and what the leaves look like. So this is different to me, and I may take one of these when I split them, one of each, and grow these inside because you can grow them as inside plants. And this is how the other one looks as well. Let's see if there's a name. This is called Fanny Moser, but they were $2. They were on clearance. I haven't touched this one yet. So the reason they were on clearance, because if you can see, one of these didn't make it. But if you look inside, which is what I did, so I know that a lot of people want their things full. But when I saw this and I saw that they were $2 and they were regularly like $14.98, I looked inside and I said, ooh, it's one plant, it's two plants, it's three plants that can be gotten from this. So evidently when they did the hanging basket, they made it to where it was four plants, but one didn't make it, so they marked it down to $2. And the same thing with this one. So this was actually three plants too, but I've already taken one of them, separated them, and just putting them over here because, like I said, this plant didn't make it. Then we had one right here didn't make it. So far this season, three didn't make it. And like I said, it could be, I'll take accountability. It could be me and not paying attention to the front porch, because oftentimes I'll come out and I'll go straight to the garden. So I'm off today and I was like, you have got to at least get some of these plants that are not living, get them out. I know Chris gonna say something about this because he just came and blowed off the front, just came and blowed off the front porch, and then here I come. I'm like, let me water everything. We're also gonna separate one, and then we're gonna put it right here. One of these plants didn't make it, but again, I will do a full video of the front porch. But this is a new container that I added this season, and this is, I put begonias. This is it's a form of the dichondria plant that I started from seed. It's the botanical name starts with an H. And this was like a flowering maple plant. They have some really pretty red blooms on here. And they're starting to make more. And I knew that I needed to get it out of this pot. Now, this was one of the finds, this container, one that I picked up from Costco. That was $27. It wasn't, or it's not as tall as these right here. I really wanted them this height right here. It's still the same company, but not the same height. I want to say these are like about 3 feet in height right here, while this one is a little bit over two. I think it was like 27 inch, but all of these plants right here is like 3 to 6 hours of sun or morning sun. So that's why I placed them right here. These are begonias that I needed to get out of the sale pack. Now I'm going to move back a little bit as well, because if you remember me doing my Costco haul, I told you I picked up the Aloha elephant ears. I think, yeah, that was the name of it, because I just remember the aloha part, and then the deep purple of the leaves. You'll see it good when it first opens up. It's a purplish tone, but as they continue to get older, the leaves, it takes on that deep green. So it was two bulbs. Hello, Doris. How are you? It was two bulbs in the pack for $9.98 at Costco. So we put one right here, and I kept on until I put one right. I'll walk around in a minute. Chris doesn't like it right there, but I think he's getting used to it. That's why I tell him just get used to it a little bit. But the elephant ears are right here. And then this is like the Silver Falls dichondria that we have right here. And I put these here because I did want something to hang, but I saw where these elephant ears were getting big. So that's why I didn't want to put, y'all know I always do my containers, filler, spiller, thriller, but I didn't want to put like a filler in here, because the elephant ears is supposed to be the thriller, the dichondria falls is supposed to be the spiller, because they just keep getting more and more plants to come up, and I just felt like it would be blocking it, like if I put plants in here like I did with those right here. Believe it or not, this is why I say a lot of your herbs can be grown in partial sun. This is marjoram. I specifically put this here because when I'm out on the porch sometimes in the front, I will run my hand through here because it smells good and it's going to seed. And then we just had like, I ended up getting an 18 pack of these begonias because they were such a good price, but I still got about four more that I have to plant. So I'll just be honest, I'm sticking begonias in a lot of areas. They do great in morning sun. Um, so this is why we put them here. And last year, you all remember I said that although I'm not a huge lover of red flowers, for some odd reason, this front porch is mostly like, I want it to be like red, black, white, but I know you see pink and other colors right here. Now, I've been having such an issue. I've already lost one of these plants to spider mites. This is the Glimmer Bright Red Double Impatient. I really love the blooms on it, if you could see, and they bloom really pretty. But to me, they're real finicky. I had spider mites, and I'm just hoping that they'll come back. They are getting new blooms on here, but we'll just keep working with that. And then this container, we just changed out the flowers every season, but we keep this is what I consider the thriller. This is a cypress type plant. And the spiller is the creeping Jenny. Now in the fall, winter, we put our pansies in here. And then in the spring, summer, even last year, I think I had the begonias or either some impatiens in here, one of them. And the reason why I put a lot of morning sun plants here is because this porch is front facing or north facing. Let me know if you can still hear. I don't know, like within 10 minutes I have gotten calls about auto insurance quotes, and I'm like, I did not call y'all for auto insurance quotes. I didn't, but they keep calling. So I hope you all can still hear, because sometimes it'll cut the sound off. So if you can't hear, put it in the comments that you cannot hear, and I'll have to go out and come back in. I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb when I went live. And so we just kind of did everything the same. We just mirrored this. You got the front door, and then you have here that's pretty much the same as well. And then this gardenia, y'all, I just cut the tag off and put it in the house. This is called frost proof gardenia. If you want a nice scent on your front porch, especially when the wind blows, this one is a winner. I picked this up last fall, and it's already starting to get a lot of blooms. Now, let me tell you about this one with the blooms. So, I just came out here and picked off all of the old blooms. Now, they do make kind of a mess down here when they start to fall off, but the new blooms are white and they smell good. Then as they get older, they'll take on a yellow color and then they'll get brown, but the brown ones will like drop a lot. So you have to just, come out here and sweep it up or do whatever, but it really smells good. The reason why I got the frost proof is because this is the one that can take temperatures down to 10 degrees, and it did really good. Because we had snow last year and this year. I did not bring this plant in, and it came through just fine. So I'm just going to let it continue to grow. Maybe later, not now because it's still fairly new. I'll just let it continue to grow, and then we'll start like trimming it up. But over here, eventually, not now, these are our hellebores that I got last season. They were very, very small, and I love hellebores. Those are like some of the plants in the wintertime, in the dead winter, when you don't see anything growing, they send up some beautiful, colorful blooms. Now, I told y'all one thing I gotta do better about labeling. I done pulled a label out. I cannot tell you what color bloom it is or what the name of it, but I remember picking this one up because I like the variegation of the leaves right here. But this one is growing good. Now the hellebores, they don't like a lot of sun, which is why I put this like over here in the corner. And then this is where we're separating the begonias that I got for $2. This is my task today. I was gonna skip it and then I was like, nope, you're gonna do it. What did I do to get rid of the spider mites? Because I have an issue with them. They have gone through my garden and back again. I have thrown away 4 plants. Yes, Doris. Okay, so let's walk around here. Let me show you what I use. Y'all bear with me. And then that way I could show you also the other elephant ear, but I want to show you what I have been using. So this is the other elephant ear on this side. I planted this late, so it's not as big as this one. But a lot of times elephant ears, like the ones my grandparents used to grow, they didn't like a lot of sun, but this one seems to be doing okay. And then I use my dichondria falls right here. And then Chris wants me to move some plants, y'all. So I have been propagating passion flower. I call it Cuban oregano, but somebody said it was called some type of thyme in their culture, but it's the Cuban oregano and then the leaf of life. Have y'all ever heard of that? Someone from the islands told me about that, and then somebody ended up giving me some. I thought I had some on this rack. Let's go over here, Doris. I'm going to show you. You could use neem oil as well. You can use that. I got to be careful when I come back here because I got to get back here. Oh, gosh. Y'all, it's been okay. So we're in Georgia, zone 8A, and I feel like every day it has been raining. And look at the deer again. Y'all, this same deer has been coming in the back, and then he eats the pears and spit them out because they're not ready. And if you watched our other video, I'm coming, Doris. You see how I get off track? If you watched our other video, oh, he left. My neighbor actually said, she sent me a video and she said, I hope he doesn't get in your garden. I'm like, I hope not either. But when I'm okay with them eating the pears, but I got to share with Chris what we got to get. Okay, now, Doris, let's get back to, okay, this is what I have been using for the spider mites. But again, now, you could use the neem oil, but let me tell you about this. So at the end of the season last year, the Dollar General always has like an end of the summer sale, and a lot of their things are like 75%. I hope that sun is not blocking it. It's like 75% off. And so I'm trying to get in the shade just in case you want to But this is for organic gardening. It's the Garden Safe Fungicide 3, but it's a fungicide, insecticide, and miticide. And if you see right here, it helps control, that's a good word. Y'all, why is this deer just staring at me? It helps control the spider mites. But remember, I always say it's not like a one and done. And so that's what I've been using for the spider mites. Now, one straight up took my plants, took that one double impatient out before I had sprayed it once. And like I said, that's the name of the video, is I've been neglecting the front porch. And so is he eating grass or is he eating these pears? But as long as he stay, I want to zoom in so y'all can see right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. He probably will go. Do y'all see by the pear tree? Like straight in front of me. And he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. But that's a deer. But you know, this how I am, y'all. They have been in this area. They have been tearing down. Do y'all see them? Right there. They have been tearing down so much stuff and building. And the way I say is, I mean, we taking their home. They got to go somewhere. Now, I would prefer that they do not come past this gate. And my dad, you know, I was talking to him, and he said most of the time, if it's a fence, because the fence is, I mean, they could still jump it. If y'all have seen deer jump, they could jump it. But they say most of the time they won't unless they're like super, super hungry. Then they'll come. And see, that's what we're going to have the problem at, because what I can tell you is that they will destroy literally overnight. But that's why I want Chris to get that branch that's hanging down, get it from inside of the fence so that that doesn't tempt him to come outside of the fence. But doors, this is what we use for the spider mites. And so you can, and again, if you can't find this, find neem oil. Some of them are like ready to use, and others are you have to mix it. It's like a concentrate, but I've used that on a lot of the plants that have the spider mites as well. So try that and see if it works. I have already tried. Okay, so you tried neem oil and diatomaceous earth. Yeah, and so you got to stay on it. I'm going to take this back around to the front, because the other one, like I said, I'm going to take full accountability. I might have did it once, no more than twice, and then that was it. So I'm not going to have no pears, I can tell. Last year, I ain't have no pears, but like I said, if he'll just stay. But the pear's not ready, but maybe they got some special teeth on there that they're going to do. Okay, you know what? A lot of times I say, let me just mind my business, because I don't want the deer to think that we're going to become friends. I don't bother them. They don't bother me. And so we're going to take this around, y'all. We've had so much rain. Oh, let me tell y'all this really quick. So you remember that and this just goes to show you, like, when you garden organically, or as organic as possible, like, you really got to stay on it. But I did. So y'all remember I shared with you that one of the things that I used was the milky spores, because we had a big problem with the Japanese beetles. I thought I had them up under control, but y'all, they are back, okay? You might can't see them, but you can see the damage that they're doing. You see those two right there? So I have to go. I just got some water with a couple, look at this, with like a couple of squirts of Dawn in there. And I can't do it now because it's one hand, but let me show you real quick, because I hope the sun is not blocking. So I just keep this cup. I went out here this morning, and you just have to come and you got to knock them in there. You just got to knock them, just keep knocking them in there. But this is like 2 squirts of Dawn in here. But I'm just going to keep on trying to, I'm not going to give up. But they've started on my strawberry plant. So I was able to harvest roses, because we do put them in our tea blend. So I was able to harvest the roses, and then look at the damage that they're doing right here. Now with this, you could do things like the water method. You could do that, or you could like spray it with insecticidal soap, but that's something that you got to keep applying, especially with all the rain we've had. And I know that they've really gotten out of control because, again, we've had so much rain pretty much every day. I think today it was looking cloudy, but I think this today they said this afternoon, and then it's supposed to rain again. Now, I'm not complaining as we walk around back here, but I did want to show y'all, and I got to switch out. Like, I haven't even had a chance to switch out these snapdragons. This is why they say do not plant mint in the ground. This was here when I came, y'all. This was here when I came. But it was just, I got to watch too, because, you know, when this grass and stuff be growing up, y'all, I don't know. And then a mosquito just bit me on my hand. But what was I saying, y'all? So let's go around here because I got a lot of work that I need to do. But you know, you only can do what you can. And like I tell myself, just do what you can. Do a little bit each day since I've been going back into the office, because some days I just have to come and just sit down for like 10 minutes to take a breather, because the Atlanta traffic for the last few days, like, it's taken me like an hour and a half to get home and like an hour and 15 minutes to get to work. And you add that time up, but we'll talk about that later. So yes, I'm going to go ahead. And okay, now let me tell you this, since this is actually kind of shaded and covered, I'm okay with spraying this on the impatiens now for the spider mite damage. However, if it was in the sun like that, I would probably do it either late in the evening or first in the morning, because even you could still like scorch your leaves with it as well when the sun beams on it. But again, this is a nice area. It's shaded. It's not hot up here. A nice breeze. So if you're just joining us, I'm just going to go ahead and get done with this, y'all. This is how a lot of people always are like, oh, thank you for the plant. But this is how I give away a lot of free plants to people, because if you're just joining us, so I found this, and I was going to say it wasn't mosquitoes. I'm going to put my citronella on. $2. And a lot of people will walk by, y'all, they'll turn their nose up because this area right here is missing. But as soon as I saw $2, I mean, even if this was missing, I want to say the regular price for the hanging baskets was like $14.98. And Chris was like, hang it up here. And I'm like, nope, that's not what I bought it for. When I looked at it, I took my hand and I said, this is one plant. This is two plants. This is three plants. So what I've been doing is, oh, sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. It was a mosquito and I didn't want him to get on me. So I got my garden trowel right here. And by a plant missing, it's easy. If I do that one more time, y'all, it's a mosquito. So it's really easy because one plant was missing. So I'm just taking my trowel and I'm very carefully just going, if you could see, I'm just splitting it like this. And then I'll take it and I'll pull this up. Now imagine, y'all, because I'm doing this with one hand, I'll pull this up, okay, like this. It's okay if some of the soil falls out, but this literally is a free, like that's another plant. So we're making three new plants for $2. And I'm gonna do, this might be 4. Ooh, look, y'all. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This was actually 4. So here's another one right here. I'm gonna do the same thing. And I just have these pots right here that I'm putting them in. So I got one right here. And this one is, let me tell y'all the name of it real quick. This one is called Looking Glass Angel Wing Begonia. But these type of begonias, again, are basically grown for the way the leaves look. Not necessarily like this is a begonia too. but they're grown for their flowers. And then they also have one that are like the leaves are like a dark chocolate. But this one you can also make as house plants, because I really feel like one of each I'm going to separate and I'm going to take inside. So we're just going to, like a $2 investment, we're going to take that and we're going to divide this. So this is actually going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. This is going to be 3 plants. And then the other day, I remember when I saw these fuchsias. This is another one that's good for morning sun, because they don't like a lot of sun, but they look like little ballerinas when they bloom. They're so pretty. And we had some, and I love this one because it's like the pink and purple. So we're going to, when I looked in here, so I went and I said, and these were, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were like 14.98. And I was like, I specifically said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I was trying to take it off because I don't want to tell y'all a story. Sometimes you just gotta wait a few weeks. And I think I'm removing it. 14.88, 14.98. But anywho, they marked it down. It's like I'm taking off everything but what I'm supposed to be taking off. Yep, look, y'all. So it was 14.88. And then they marked it down to $3. But once again, this one, so they had some that when I say they were crisp, they were very, very crisp. Not to say they couldn't come back, but out of 5 of them, I said, this one looks the best. So we had been getting a lot of rain, and I specifically said, I'm going to leave it right here because I know the rain is going to help bring it back. And it didn't even have all of these blooms. But once again, y'all, when I look at clearance plants, I look at, let me see what I could do with it. And I love these. And so I put my hand all in here and I'm like, oh yeah, that's 1 plant. That's 2 plants. That's 3 plants, possibly 4 new plants that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my trowel. I'm going to separate these. Now, these I got to be a little bit more careful with because there's not like one missing that I can go around. But I'm just going to go around the base, like right here. I'll just go around that base and remove it. And you could put it in a new pot like that. So you could do it like this. And then these are our dianthus. What I have to do with a lot of these plants, y'all, that are on the front is I have to constantly rotate them. So as you see, this back is shorter than this. Maybe like 3 weeks ago, I had rotated it. So I come in and I turn it. I do the same thing for these gardenias right here. I actually just turned this when I water them. So you want to turn it so that it could get, that's if you can. Now these, I can't turn those. This is just what it is. And you could tell like this one right here got a little damage over here, and it could be the way the light comes, but we're not going to worry about it. It's still growing. Versus this one, it looks way more fuller. I turn these around as well, and then I turn these right here around. I can't turn those or anything like that, but the ones that you can, even over here on this stand, the ones that you can kind of just turn around so that every side can get even light. So you might want to do it once a week or bi-weekly or however it looks. This one, I do it about every 2 weeks is I'll turn this. And now you see where these are starting to take shape. And so then I'm going to turn this around because these have gotten shorter right here. And this actually was a trial place for these only because they were red. And I had this low container right here, but these are actually supposed to be full sun. And again, this area right here gets a lot of morning sun. And then they just kind of, it goes, the garden gets full sun. So I just wanted to share with you all what I was doing today. We got a lot of things in the garden in the back that I really have got to give some attention to as well. I have been giving a lot of attention to the back garden, but not enough in the front. So I'm going to work out here a little while longer, get some of these empty containers filled. We're going to fill them up with our $2 investment here. That's what I call it. And begonias are frost sensitive, meaning that once it gets cold, I'm gonna probably bring them in. I'm gonna bring them inside because they're gonna all go in containers. Like I'm just gonna a few weeks before, I always watch my weather app, but a few weeks before, I just kind of treat my soil. Um, and when I say do that, I might put a little diatomaceous earth down there because I don't want to bring anything inside. And so I just do that, wash the leaves off really well, and then we'll probably bring them inside because these type of begonias right here, they can be house plants as well. And I have house plants, y'all, and I actually have them like on a stand with grow lights that stay on for like 6 hours. We have different types, but like I tell people, I get a lot of questions about house plants. I'm not as big on house plants as I am my garden. Now I can tell you a few things about house plants, like if you want something that will tell you that's like really easy maintenance, a peace lily. I have like two of those. But I forgot what the name of the trailing plant is. So I got a few house plants, but I'm not really into house plants, but I use them because they're good with filtering the air. We got I think it's the snake plant, like in our bedroom, because they said that was one of the plants that is great with filtering the air. So I have house plants because I like to have them in the home, help with filtering air, with all of those things. But I'm very big on the garden and my outside plants. I'm way better on that. And like I was so proud of myself because my orchids finally bloomed last year, and so Chris was like, "Are they gonna bloom again this year?" I'm like, "I don't know. I can't tell you that." I was surprised that they bloomed much attention in my house plants, which is why I get ones that's easy. But these begonias, I think, because we're growing them for leaves, they're going to be super easy to grow if they're anything like the regular begonias. So we're going to go ahead, get these potted up, and we'll put these in containers, y'all, and let them grow. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Y'all, look, I think it's going to rain again. I really do before the evening. They keep saying the evening, but I think it's going to come sooner than the evening. So y'all have enjoy the rest of your day. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of videos coming out for you. One that we have coming out next is the companion planting. So we have a private Facebook group that a lot of people are in, and once we got 1,000 members, and it's free, people voted what they wanted me to talk about. So I just did kind of like a presentation on companion planting, and we're giving away a guide that we talk about 3 companion planting plant combinations, but when you download that guide, you could get the fourth one that we didn't talk about. And it just says, it just talks about the importance of companion planting. And like I shared in the presentation, this was something that I didn't grow up with. Over the years of gardening, I start to incorporate in my garden because you have to think about it. Like my grandparents and great grandparents, when they gardened, it was because you did it or you didn't eat. Now we're just like at a convenience where we can go to the store. But I got to do a video, y'all. I've heard at least 4 people over the last 3 days keep saying the food doesn't have a taste, and I wonder why. I could tell y'all a lot of reasons why, but this is every time I hear that, this is where I just start encouraging more people to start gardening because I'm telling y'all, my tomatoes that I just picked, my cherry tomatoes, they were so good. They were really good today and they had a taste. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on another video. But again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today, y'all, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, y'all.